IVM.
Alright, Simplified is where they take stories that you can't understand and make it even more difficult to understand. If you need that in your life, it's called marriage. Simplified, 3 young men with a mission. Their names, Chuck, Naren and Sriket. That's right, simplify their names first. Simplify. Check out new episodes on our IVM podcast apps. Happy listening, mother and fathers. Alright, please note that the language and ideas presented on the show might not be suitable for everyone. If you're under 18, make sure your mom isn't around. If you're over 80, why is your mom around?
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
On Cock and Bull today, we have the one and only Kunal Vijaykar, because the guest didn't turn up. And of course, me. But that's in the second half. Cock and Bull.
Why follow your auntie's advice when you can follow Cyrus Says on Facebook and Twitter to stay updated about the latest shows?
You guys must have met those guys, right, who always have the same excuse when they don't want to answer your question. They go, what? Like they can't hear. Well, my friend Kunal is like that. You ask him anything awkward, something he doesn't want to talk about, and immediately he's like, what? Sorry, I can't hear. What was that? Why? Why do you do that? We'll find out more. It's called Cyrus Says.
And that's what Cyrus says.
Ladies and gentlemen, on Cyrus, what's the show called, Kunal?
Cyrus Brocha? No,
try again. Cyrus
Virus?
No, I think we've used that before, yeah?
Yeah, it's a bit, yeah.
Okay, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
The point is that I mentioned in our rant that we do, which is I play the part of philosopher first. I'm like a young Socrates without a beard and not the footballer. And I mention things which have changed society or should change society. You know, points.
How do I come into the picture?
Because I talked about you as a prime example of a certain type of behavior which I abhor, which is not being able to hear you when you don't want to answer the question. Hey, Kunal, are you coming to the event tomorrow?
Huh? What did you say?
Exactly that. Why do you do that, Kunal? Why do you and many people do that?
Because I've become really old and I can't hear your questions anymore.
It's when you just don't, you find the question, Kunal, are you seeing that girl? There you go. You see, that's the problem. That's exactly the problem. Okay, so you're the founder and chairperson of... No, you're not. That's somebody else. I'm just kidding. The show, by the way, Kunal, we've called you here. We have 2 parts to the show.
Okay.
And it's not because May hasn't turned up on time. No, that's not the reason. Yeah. So part 1 is you and me discussing the show called How I Met Your Father, which I'll come to.
Okay.
And part 2, May comes in and we discuss all kinds of things because you're a philosopher yourself.
I am.
And you have lots to share with the public. And by the way, we've done research and lots of people like you on the show. You've featured more than once and they said, why don't you have...
Every time you don't have a guest,
you
call me.
No. But now it's getting too much because they're saying things like, why can't he do the show instead of you? This is the other end of the spectrum, which I'm not enjoying.
Yes.
Okay, let's start with the show. It's called How I Met Your Father.
Okay.
Now, it's difficult for me to talk about it because then it sounds like I'm blowing my own trumpet, which after 20 years of marriage
is... the I is you in the name of the title. In the title, the I is you. If it's you, then only it will
because I'm more openly vain, but you're more vain. It's like that.
You're more openly vain, but you're not really vain.
Okay, so let's get to the whole thing. Tell us about the show. Because the show, I don't know when they listen to this what day it is, but there's a show at Tata on October 15th, another one in November 3rd or 4th.
So is the 3rd installment of this sort of bullshit that we've created?
Path breaking. Path breaking. It's the 3rd installment of a path breaking series.
Yeah, obviously we started off with
let me give a background. It started with Blackadder with Rowan Atkinson back in the 80s.
Then it became vain and was called Cyrusitis.
Then that moved, once Rowan Atkinson left the project, it became Cyrusitis and you and I were dialed in.
Yeah.
Then we go
there was no Kunal in it, in the name or in the title or anything.
So now it's taken 12 years to come up with this grouse. This is like attacking the East India Company in 1973. Yeah. You have to get your dates right.
Yeah. The next time it was called 40 Shades of Grey Hair.
40 Shades of Grey Hair. I remember. I'm familiar with
Which is again about you turning 40.
Yeah, that's true.
It had nothing to do with me.
Because you had crossed into 50. Yeah, correct. So,
and now How I Met Your Father.
This is ridiculous. I thought we'd come and talk about the show, but it's all your grouses and anger and the angst you feel towards life because you're feeling left out in the title. You blame Rayal Padamsi, the producer, not me. I don't even know what's happening.
But Rayal Padamsi's name is bigger than the title also on the poster.
That's true. Rayal Padamsi presents How I Met Your Father. Yeah. Excellent. Okay, now come on. Tell us, we need to sell tickets. Nobody's come for the show. We need you to push it a little bit.
Which is not true. We've had a houseful show at the Royal Opera House, which is a really old theatre.
Not really, because we didn't allow people to sit on the third balcony. By the way, third balcony is where the failed artists throw themselves off normally. And Naveen, don't laugh, okay? Comedy can be hard. Where is Varun Grover right now? Do you know? Second balcony. But things are good. Sorry.
So we forgot what we were saying.
No, we didn't.
So we opened at the Royal Opera House from the third balcony, went to St. Andrews, 2 houseful shows.
Yeah.
And now we're going to the Tata.
Home theatre. Before the word home theatre became fashionable. Yeah.
And it's amazing how you call Nariman Point your home theatre and not Bandra West.
Why? I'm closer to Nariman Point.
I'm closer to Bandra West.
So again, you're getting angry. That's about me.
Yeah.
It's about my home theatre. Okay, I can understand. Will you tell us about the story? What is the story?
What story? There's no bloody story.
How I Met Your Father. People want to know the story. You can't have a title like that and have no connection with what's going on.
But that's the thing.
Give us some feedback, brother.
It's like the chicken and egg story. Which came first, the story or the title?
Yeah.
So here the title started and then we spun a story around it. And then we cast a wonderful little actress who's your daughter.
That's right.
Who tells me about how I tell her in the play how I met you, which means her father.
So
your father.
There are 2 people in the play and you can't remember anything about it.
No, there are not 2 people. There are 3 people.
So
4 people.
in the course, slowly, tell the public, in the course of this epic award-winning piece of theatre, what happens? Give us some idea. Is there singing? Is there dancing? Do people take their clothes off? What happens?
Well, yes. There's no singing, there's no dancing, and there's nobody's taking their clothes off. There is Cyrus Brocha, who does a lot of audience interaction and stand-up comedy.
Just like the usher.
Yeah.
That's what the ushers do, basically.
Bhosle.
The ushers go and interact with the audience, put you in your seat. I ignore that rubbish pun of yours. Go on.
And then there is another wonderful actor called Gopal. You thought I'd say Kunal, no?
No, Gopal Dutt Tiwari. Give him all his names. He's running from the law, so he's got 2 surnames, yeah?
And then there's me.
And he's doing a little bit of Hindi stand-up as well in the middle.
We're doing a little bit of sort of localized Hindi and Hindi-English mixed stand-up stuff, monologue, improv, sketch comedy, everything rolled into one.
Here's my question. In this edition, the Tata edition, which may have already passed when people listen, I don't know, you have played or had played Donald Trump. Am I right?
Yes, on the TV
But
show.
you say you can't do a Donald Trump impression. So how do you play Donald Trump without doing the impression?
I just play him and I hope and I pray that it sounds like Donald Trump.
Can you give us a little taste of what that sounds like so that people can judge before they spend money on tickets? Let them know what...
No. Why this free thing? I'm not going to do my...
I'm asking you to do one line as a trailer. I'm not asking you to do the whole production. God forbid. For the whole production, they pay the full right. Well, just give us a couple of lines. Kunal as Donald Trump. Works for me.
Yeah.
That was spot on. That was brilliant. How? I mean, how are you so amazing?
It's an inherent talent.
Really? What other characters do we see you as? Anything?
So there is Gopal who plays a man with a lot of angst who's a liftman, the daily life of a liftman and what they go through.
Right.
We always complain about liftmen and watchmen.
From our elite perspective, we've given both the options, our perspective and his perspective. Not his, because we're not saying that Gopal is a liftman. His career is going places. Don't let that little bump that happened to viral fever affect anyone. They'll be back. Viral fever, right?
The
TVF. What is it called? The viral fever,
No, TVF had the viral fever, yes.
Because he was gainfully employed. He had 9 roles in 7 days there.
Yeah, but he's doing a lot of work. He's like the Anupam Kher and Baman Irani and Paresh Rawal
of Republic
the
TV.
Internet.
Internet.
Of the internet.
Sorry, yeah.
So he's there and he's playing some other characters. I'm playing a few characters also, largely obnoxious people. And it's a slice of life.
And a reflection of the people we live with and the people who come to watch these kind of plays.
Correct.
Okay, before we get back to that, a little bit about yourself, Kunal. Now, you've done lots of different plays. Do you ever feel that you're trapped now in a genre which is this sort of realistic comedy, work with audiences, interactive stuff? And are you now stuck there? Will we not see you in a conventional play? Will you not be, say, Lady Macbeth in Macbeth?
Well, most plays have one requirement, which is learning lines. And now with having spent a large time in front of a teleprompter, I'm a little worried about being able to learn the lines of a full-length role in a full-length play.
But so you'd rather be a sex object and with no lines?
Which I am.
Which you are in our play.
Stand there.
How I Met Your
Wear
Father.
less clothes and stand on stage and strut a bit and people look and clap and cheer.
But what is it? You've been around since 1970. I mean, since India and Pakistan went to war for the second time, was 65. And
I was there in 65 also.
That's what I meant. And you've seen everything. So what is there that you want to do as an actor on stage? Is there anything left in the Irv?
I think I want to do plays that run only at the Tata Theatre.
So it's not about the art, it's about the parking.
Yeah, it's about the parking.
So you're a different kind of actor.
Yeah.
Naseeruddin Shah would have said Chekhov forever.
Yeah.
And Anupam Kher would have said Republic TV forever. But you've gone different. You've gone with parking.
Correct.
You've gone with I don't want to travel that way.
I don't want to travel. And Sophia is a big parking problem. Sophia Auditorium.
Why would you say that? I think we have a show in Sophia coming up. Never say that. Why would you say that? Don't say that.
No, but tell them to come earlier. Come by Uber or whatever they come by nowadays.
But still trouble because the cars come in and block everything. The only thing you can tell them is walk. But remember, if you walk uphill, you have to walk downhill as well. After sitting for 2 hours, and downhill is more painful.
True. No, but that's if you live in
Speaking of downhill, the play is called... Yes. The show is called How I Met Your Father, or October 15th and November 3rd or 4th or both. We're not sure, but we'll tell you about it later.
Yeah.
Kunal Vijaykar is in the house. He's in the house for a few more minutes, but when we return after this break, is the real part of the show where May will grill him about the life and times of this...
Show is in October, but...
Of this great human being, ignoring your point here.
You ignored all my jokes.
I know, I've picked up all your jokes.
This is what I resent.
Your 4 puns have been struck off the record because Naveen has a certain standard that he expects on our show.
Naveen now is a TV star. Okay.
Naveen says that even the NGOs have been funnier who've come here. So I'm sorry to tell you. We'll take a break. We'll come back.
In a world where people are busy playing Mendicoat at Diwali parties, 2 men decide to go all in the river.
Don't you mean on the river?
On the river.
Oh, yeah.
2 men will go where no one has ever gone before, to a studio with no air conditioning or Coke Zero to talk about poker.
Hey, order lo na yaar koi, kya hai ye bakwas?
The SpartanPoker.com presents Mera Kaam Poker, hosted by Azim Banatwala
The best comedian in the world, according to himself.
and Peter Abraham.
Not related to John.
New episodes out every Wednesday on the IVM podcast app or any other podcasting app you use. And for all our listeners who want to try out their hand at poker, you can log on to thespartanpoker.com, register yourself as a user with the promo code IVM, and you will get 200 bonus cash, which you can use to play poker for free. See you at the tables.
All right, here on Cyrus Says, we have with us the beautiful May who's joined us. May, what's your surname?
Thomas?
June. Okay. So, May June is
Like
here.
all Malayalis, first name's last name. Like not.
Toma.
Toma.
May has joined us. And
Hello, May. How are you?
Hello.
I'm
One second.
good.
And since you've come, you must ask Cyrus this question. He's doing a radio show or he's doing an audio-based show. Why is he wearing makeup and female sunglasses?
I know, I was wondering about the female makeup. Oh my god,
There
I
is
just
base
noticed.
foundation, there is rouge.
Well, May, there's an answer to this, and I will tell you right now off the bat. Meiji, if I don't wear makeup and you see me in person, you will freeze with fear.
Did they do your
This is
eyebrows
done
too?
for you.
They've done his eyebrows
I think
too.
so. I think. Little eye
they
makeup
shaped
is
his
also-
I
eyebrows.
start makeup on Tuesday for Wednesday. I'm very serious about my profession, and that's only for radio. So just think about it. As for the sunglasses, I have a theory. I don't like to buy anything I wear. So what happens is there was a storm on Friday last, and my glasses broke when I was walking. They fell. I was urinating in public, and they fell off my head. And I tried to grab them, and I did grab them, but I grabbed them too tightly, and I broke them in my hands. You know when you grab in a lunge like that, and that's what happened. So now this is my mother's glasses.
They actually
She
see
doesn't
you.
go out in the sun. It's not good for her skin at 96. So this is what we do.
But she's bought them, huh?
Yeah, she's bought them.
She bought them.
It's lovely. They do.
I mean, it's not
really
right for her to go to Prabhadevi while people are in the temple and just take their stuff and walk out. It looks bad. Let's move on to what
Which
you've got.
Hindu temple have you been to where they say take your chappals and your
His
sunglasses
sunglasses
out?
off.
How can you take sunglasses to the mandir, yeah?
Who said no?
I don't think that's right. That's very disrespectful. You wear sunglasses and go to the mandir.
Wear them on the head, put them in your pocket. You don't have to leave them outside.
God doesn't like this.
I'm sure there are many a gangster that walk into temples with their shades on their
They
head.
build their own temples. That's different. Then you have your own rules. Topic number 1.
Topic number 1. So I'm going to be telling topics and all.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so the Supreme Court has done that firecracker.
Okay,
ban.
you
cannot
struggle
sell
with it. I'll
firecracker.
take over. Then just tell
No,
me.
I'm just saying. Why are you being mean to me? Already have started.
See, one sec. Let's understand the ban is only in Noida. right?
In Delhi NCR.
And in Delhi NCR.
which
So
I
you're looking
think
at
is-
So you can go to
10
Noida.
kilometers.
You can go to Noida, buy the crackers and come back. to
No,
Delhi.
you can go to you can go to Gurgaon and fire a rocket into Noida. You're technically okay. Yeah, but okay, jokes apart, here's what's happening. In one area, which is a good thing, they've actually said you can't buy firecrackers after November 4th. Is that correct? Or up to November 4th?
Up to the 1st of November.
First of
November.
Yeah.
I think.
1st of November, correct.
So.
So let's quickly go around the room and get reactions. That means you, Kunal.
No, the Supreme Court order is.
When
not
is the last time Kunal Vijaykar blew a cracker?
blew a cracker?
Is it the right word? I'm so sorry.
Blew a cracker.
What's the right word? Fired a cracker.
Is that what they call it nowadays?
Burst a cracker.
Burst of fire.
Burst a cracker.
Burst of fire.
I have not burst a cracker.
Have you blown anything? Okay, carry on.
No,
You've blown the show, that's
no,
for sure.
I haven't burst a cracker in the last 40 years or 30 years.
So you're not really
I-
speaking
I burnt
neutrally.
my hand. I have burnt my hand very badly.
That's while smoking.
No, no.
You couldn't find an ashtray.
You actually burned your hand.
Very badly.
What
Very badly.
happened?
3rd degree burns. My bones were exposed.
When he was 12.
Wow.
What happened? Tell her.
Nothing,
It's a good story.
firecracker burst. A firecracker, anar,
No,
the fountain.
explain exactly what happened,
It's
Baba.
a fountain, that fountain, anar.
Oh, yeah, the
Those
one that...
small triangle fountains, not flora
Yeah.
fountain, huh?
No, not triangle. That earthen, like a pot.
Yeah, it's like that, and then it sort of spurts out.
I went to light it with with a sparkler, a full jhadi, okay, and it was a faulty piece, and it burst.
Which
right?
was the faulty piece?
The
Anar.
pot, the pot.
pot.
What do you mean by faulty piece?
No,
It
look, I'm not a
exploded.
scientist. It exploded. It was meant to go like a fountain. It exploded like a bomb. Now, what can I do?
This is well before terrorism raised its ugly head.
Yeah.
No, but it's the same thing. One of my
How did
dearest
you get
friends
the only faulty
someone lit
anar?
a firecracker and it sparked off, and he has it went straight into his eye. So
No,
you
no,
can
many-
only see from one eye.
Because they make such crappy stuff and it's made in China or so-called made in China, made in Myanmar, made everywhere. And
Now you get a lot of Chinese mal, but in the old days, and it's a
It
historical
was made in
place.
Lower Chal.
It's called a place called Sivakasi.
Sivakasi! Kai bolto?
Sivakasi was the sort of the whatever of printing, South Indian.
You set it up and you don't know what it is.
multicolored
It was whatever.
printing. And
Wow.
fireworks came from Sivakasi.
Oh, I
It's
didn't
somewhere
know
in the
that.
south.
Yeah,
Fireworks
Sivakasi
came
doesn't sound-
from
But
China.
I didn't know they made
1400 years
firecrackers
ago.
there.
They did printing.
Oh, the printing of the
And
firecracker.
also
Can you go offline with this topic? What the hell are you doing?
But she's suddenly interested.
No,
being
no,
from Kerala.
What is the point here? The
Yeah,
point
I know,
is that
suddenly
they
other-
banned, at least in some part of India, crackers.
Okay, so they
What is your
banned the
point?
crackers,
Yeah.
and the reason is pollution, air pollution. Because
Or
last
as we
year,
say in the north, pollution.
last year when they measured pollution in the Delhi area, it was really bad. It was
And the BJP blamed
obnoxiously high.
Kejriwal.
Yeah.
Now they're blaming Diwali.
Yeah. And
Oh,
next they'll-
things have changed.
Or Anna Hazare is there. If all fails, blame Anna Hazare.
Talk about an anar that doesn't go off. I mean, with due respect.
That's not Anar Hazare.
Stop
Anna
it,
Hazare.
stop. Okay,
Why can't... And
quickly. Now, I like your perspectives, not for any other reason, but I always think you're someone who's actually from outside who now comes into India. So you have a more global perspective. Go on.
He's making fun of me.
No, I'm not.
So what? All Keralites are
She
from
grew
Dubai.
up.
What do you
She
say?
grew up in.
Wait,
Firstly, Muscat is not
I'm
Dubai.
such a cliche.
You are-
Kunal.
you are from
Fully,
Dubai.
not Dubai, Doha. Close enough.
Doha.
I am a giant Mallu cliche. to be honest.
Listen. She's from outside India. She's come here as an adult. So her perspective, like Kani's, is
Yeah,
a little
you-
different. Please understand.
Hey, Kani's was like
You are from
born
outside
there.
India because in your mind you lived in bloody Buckingham Palace. So yours also is a little different. Go on.
No, so I just have a question. This is probably a technical question. Why only Noida? Why couldn't the Supreme Court?
Well,
just,
it's
No, because Supreme
the
Court can't-
noisiest people in India live there.
No, Supreme Court can't just take a decision. So somebody's filed a case in the Supreme Court
For their area.
for their
for their
thing, and hence
So
they
you have
passed
to
a-
file. Amit Doshi has to file for Khar. I have to file for Malba Hill, and Kunal has to file for Buckingham Palace because in his mind he still lives there, even if he's the butler. But it's a job. So coming back to you, what do you think when you come here? Do you think we've this firstly animals, old people, little kids, and people studying, people working hard, people doing night shifts? I mean, there's so many people who just they get affected, especially those stupid bombs, man.
No, it's really bad.
I don't get the thrill of. Why don't you just hear yourself
The
after
thing
butter
is,
chicken
you
on the
think
pot?
it's like bad. You think it's bad. Like I was in Chennai, who you would not think that it would really be that
slightly
bad
more
there.
cultured, but no.
No, it's awful. I was driving at that time. I literally couldn't see. Like
See, you
2
can't blame
meters ahead of
Chennai.
me.
You can't blame Chennai or Delhi because it takes just two idiots, two guys from wherever the hell they are, who in your locality decide to spend money and do this. It just takes that
Everyone.
much. You don't need. I mean, 800 people will be really nice, but two people just mess it up.
No, it's really
and
bad.
you know
The
that-
whole of Chennai is like, you have that it's like a haze
Yeah,
you,
it's a
you
haze.
literally can't
It's
see
like, you're
anything
right.
the next day.
Absolutely right. You can actually go through it like a fog, when
Yeah.
I mean, that's just so ridiculous.
And
You're
it's
probably
chemicals.
it's all chemicals and
all
gunpowder,
chemicals
whatever it
and
is.
gunpowder.
Kunal, you wouldn't have gone through this because you didn't study, but we used to study for exams, and it would just be painful because you're trying to study, and it would go on for 10 minutes.
I would not know.
They would put the bombs across our lane, and would go for 10 to 12 minutes without stopping. I'm trying to remember the exact time. Is it 18 minutes? It's ridiculous. The exact time.
And that big toran or mala har or whatever
Yeah,
it's called,
har.
that goes for 10 minutes has cost probably 10,000 rupees.
So
in 10 rupees,
when I
in
was
10
studying,
minutes, you've lit fire.
You literally burnt money.
Rupees.
You literally burnt money. And this is after demonetization. Where's the cash coming from? What's going on in this country? But I think it's a step in the right direction. Token, but a step in the right direction.
I went. So
Chetan Bhagat doesn't think so, ladies. Virendra Sehwag doesn't think so.
which is. Oh, I don't even want to talk about him. Why? He's
Virendra
like
Sehwag or Chetan Bhagat?
Sehwag, she has no idea about it. So let's not go
I
there.
know Sehwag.
You know him well?
Not personally.
Okay.
But I know he plays cricket, right?
Not anymore. Stop that before Diwali.
Well, he's doing a commentary and all that. Hey, one thing I got to tell you, like, I went to Kerala for Diwali.
Right.
Silence.
Why?
Utter silence. There's nothing. People don't even know what, like, people are like Diwali. People celebrate that
It's
stuff.
a left state.
Yes, it's just against the center.
Lovely.
So whatever
Left
festival you
state.
choose in the center, they cancel it. Onam will be cancelled if they celebrate it in Delhi. I'm telling you right now.
You should just, if Diwali happens, go to Kerala. It'll be beautiful and silent
Is it,
and
Listen,
clear.
Kerala or is it Kerala?
Kerala? What is Kerala?
No, I thought that's the pronunciation. Kerala. I am from
Listen, Mr. Marathi.
Have you been to the toy shop?
all cultures have odysseys and idiocies about them. Just be a little careful, please.
Odyssey is got nothing to do with
Homer.
Odyssey.
Not homosexual. Naveen, just Homer. Poet. Next topic.
Next topic. Okay. This article that Rohini Singh had written, this journalist for The Wire, about Jay Shah, Amit Shah's son.
Yeah.
That's the next topic.
16,000. But how do you prove that? That's what. So let's set it up. Amit Shah's son Jay Shah has earned 16,000 times more than what he had earned pre 2014. But how do you prove this? How do you prove this?
No, I'm guessing that they can prove it because they've got the figures.
Yeah,
but
she went to
whether
register.
it's been done
in an illegal manner.
Illegal
What is
manner or not,
illegal?
we don't know. I
Because
don't know.
nepotism is not exactly illegal.
Yeah, and we've
It
had
favors it,
nepotism.
yeah.
But they'll have to prove it, no? I mean,
And what kind of subcontinental government will you be if your families don't, get something out of it?
This is India.
Yeah.
It's happened for centuries.
Yeah, it's nothing new.
We have to first prove Vijay Mallya, poor fellow.
Who's not 16,000, much less.
Yeah.
16,000 niche gaya wo. The other way, reverse. All right. Just on safety and security reasons, we'll abandon this topic and say nothing more and move on to the next one.
Next topic?
Yeah.
So, there's going to be a petrol pump strike for 24 hours on the 13th of October.
Really?
Yeah. Like 54,000 petrol pumps.
So suppose they did go on strike for one day. Why does everybody have to go and queue on the previous night like they're going to run out of their tank in one day? Have you ever seen what happens
Yeah,
outside a petrol pump? Or if the price is going to go up by 3 rupees, why is everybody trying to fill? So if price is going up by 3 rupees, you are filling in 20 liters of petrol.
Some of them have a almost full tank.
Yeah.
So they put 6 liters
6
in
liters.
and they say 18 rupees.
Correct.
And they waited from 10 o'clock to
3 hours
11:55. Oh, बच गया, आ गया, 12 के अंदर आ गया मैं.
And what have they done to the traffic? Because petrol pumps on the main roads.
You're talking to
Exactly.
someone who doesn't drive.
I know how to drive. I don't have a
You
car.
know how to drive?
Yeah.
Gear or auto?
Gear.
Left side or right side? When you reverse, you look back on your own or you just reverse?
So what, you look at the front?
Seriously, yeah.
Going by what you do, you never look
Yeah.
back.
No, I look at the mirrors.
You don't even look in the mirrors. You just blow the horn and hope people understand you're going the
You
other
know how to
way.
drive, Kunal.
You're a bit like the government.
Well,
You're just a
yes.
bulldozer.
It's not that much.
But it's true. Why are they going on strike? What, they protesting the taxes?
Yep.
Okay.
They
Yeah.
want they actually their demand is for petroleum products to be under GST, which I don't quite
Which
understand.
one
Under
call?
GST or not under?
Under GST, because
So they aren't at the moment?
petroleum is not under GST.
Oh, I didn't know that.
So right now they want to be included in GST. God knows why.
No,
I'm not
because if you
quite
take
on-
GST, then all the other taxes go, no? The whole thing is surplus. If you have
like
12
that,
taxes,
yeah.
the whole idea of GST is a central tax and takes away the other taxes.
Also, you know,
but
This
obviously,
is
it's under-
excise duty, VAT,
All that,
they're
yeah.
being
No,
No,
affected
also,
by.
trucks.
also purely selling petrol is not a very profitable business because the margins
None of
on
them make
petrol
money.
is very, very
They make money on
minuscule.
servicing. I have lots of friends who own petrol pumps who don't give me free
Yeah.
petrol, so I'm no longer their friends. But it's all about the servicing. They
It's
can't
all
make-
about how you
Serious? They
use
make
it.
no
nothing.
money?
It's, no, everybody makes money. But but it's huge. You need huge volumes to make paisa.
Paisa on the rupee. They don't make good money.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you'll see most petrol pump owners, their children don't go to schools and all that. They work there. But there's no choice. There's no money coming in. It's a hard life.
Also, they make money on the premises, like having service stations and other facilities.
They also rent out rooms, bathrooms. They charge you to pee and all that. So you have to use your creative faculties and come up with things when you run a petrol pump.
I know in my hometown there's a guy that.
What is your
owns a
hometown?
petrol-
Doha?
Tiruvalla. In
That's
Kerala.
not your hometown. That's your ancestral town.
No,
your
that's
hometown
my
is Doha.
hometown.
Where were you born?
I'm born in Kerala, in Tiruvalla.
I want proof.
Ask Shashi Tharoor.
Shashi Tharoor is from another area altogether.
Yeah.
Kerala only.
No, very far away.
Another area already.
Kerala, but Eton is not in Kerala. Come on.
Actually, talking about Kerala, you guys heard about this Jana Yaksha Yatra? Mm-hmm. It is ridiculous.
I have no idea what this Jana Yaksha Yatra
Please
is.
explain. You have to explain. I
Please
want to see
explain.
Kunal's face. Yeah,
Please tell me, what is Jana Yaksha? Jana means people, Yaksha is
Raksha.
Raksha, Jana Raksha Yatra.
Yeah.
I don't know what is it.
Yatra is journey.
Journey. So basically, it's this like protest march that they're doing in Kerala. This is Amit Shah and
No,
Aditya
it's
Nath.
against the government. It's against the state government.
Against the violence that they...
Against the killing of
violence.
RSS members. They were killed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, who killed them is another story. Just like with our so-called rationalists in Bangalore, etc., the Gauri Lankesh and the Dabolkar and all that, no one knows. See, our mysteries never get solved.
Correct.
Nobody knows when the British actually came. For example,
Yeah, it goes on forever.
What time did Ram leave the forest exactly? Did she cross the Lakshman Rekha? I mean, all these stories are up there in the open. So similarly, this whole thing is on...
You see the sudden silence. No? You've gone into such deadly territory now.
I know.
You know?
The silence is
she's
tangible.
Thinking Amit Shah is bad enough. Why should we go Ramayan? Yeah. So anyway, it's a protest march.
Yes, it is.
Are you joining it?
No, how can I? It means walking. I'm not
Yeah,
going
of
to walk.
course. Walking is ridiculous. Why do they think this through? How many people would join you in your protest if you didn't have to walk? Think about it. Ian Botham started this charity, Works for Leukemia. He started with 10,000 people from north of England to south of England, and by the end it was like 4 people. They're all tubes in the middle. It's like enough.
Didn't he end it at the
John
most
O'Groats. John O'Groats.
John O'Groats.
Yeah.
I went there. I saw it.
Have you been
You
there?
walked from London to John O'Groats?
No, I went by car, but I went to John O'Groats. It's the northernmost tip of the British Isles.
What do you think?
It's
Did you see
symbolic.
anything?
It's like Kashmir to Kanyakumari. Sorry, did I say Kashmir? I'm sorry.
It
Let's
is
move on.
Kashmir. Kashmir is good. I don't say.
I'm saying out of anything controversial. I don't say anything else. If I say Amit, I say Bachchan. It's like that. Come on, let's go. Next.
Next, are we like not taking a single break?
No brakes. This car has no petrol, so no brakes.
No petrol.
Huh.
That's how you say it in Kerala. Bedroll.
Bedroll, Kerala. I'm telling you,
Hey, no.
that's the pronunciation.
How do you say sex in Kerala?
Zegs.
Because I asked for eggs once and somebody got slapped me on the face.
It's S
I just went
eggs.
asked for eggs and I thought they thought I said sex. I said, "Can I have eggs?" And that person hit me.
And you thought it
So
said
can you
Zegs.
say sex
Zegs.
with a Malayali accent? Yeah. Say it again.
Zegs.
Eggs. Say it
Can
again.
I have eggs?
Can I have eggs?
I
Yeah,
have
it's
eggs?
right. He was right to hit me. Yeah.
Totally right. to hit
Can
you.
I have a eggs?
Can't believe Shashi Tharoor did that. Anyway. Next.
There was, oh God, all this. I got an article here about some gun crime in the Texas Tech.
Yeah, a
About
policeman got
student-
shot. A policeman got shot. Yeah.
policeman got shot.
Look, we just had, I remember this recording a week ago, we had a massacre because there were 59 people, 400 plus injured. So, I mean, something is wrong with America and those guns. And are we stupid? You know, when you have a
Las
couple,
Vegas thing was awful.
when you have a couple, supposing you and him are a couple, and you tell me your problems and I'm a stranger, sometimes it's easier for me to understand because the objectivity that I bring in is correct. But what happens, I think, with America is they're not able to understand. Then in Australia, I think Tasmania, one of the southern states of Australia, they had a massacre 21 years ago. They repealed the gun laws immediately. They canned gun licenses left, right, and center. They pulled guns out of people's homes overnight. They haven't had a massacre in 21 years. All right. Why are they taking so long to understand that you give gun to man, make it easy, man behave bad?
Yeah, but Mike, I have only one question, and it's a question like
Second Amendment, the Machogiri, the frontiersmen, they built the country. Come on, people are dying.
What would happen to a president of the United States if he decided to just knock the Second Amendment.
A Republican president and this very popular one that whose name I don't know. I think he would lose the. I don't know what will happen. It'll be terrible.
I mean, all
Democratic. I think it'll be
all
par
these
for the
American
course.
presidents, once they're on their way to their last few months, then they all bring up issues that they have not touched for 8 years.
Well, what more do you want? 59 people killed by a
think-
psychopath nutcase
yeah,
accountant.
but-
There's no misguided religious
should
base to it or misguided.
Shut down that NRA.
I mean, there's no reason. He's just nuts.
Shut it down, that NRA.
Yeah. May, what do you think? It's just too easy in America, no?
I am completely.
So every week you give me a story
anti-guns.
about a policeman being shot on campus, which is ridiculous again. All these stories
No.
every week, we don't even look at them until there are 59 people because it's par for the course to see 1 or 2 getting killed every week.
The thing is, I am completely anti-guns. I think it's ridiculous. I don't think there's any point. Like, why would you need a gun? This whole thing of I need a gun to protect myself is
But they're
absolutely
living in some
wrong.
medieval ages.
Yeah, it's a police country. They don't need to. You're absolutely right.
Exactly.
What would
You
happen?
don't
What
need-
would, and let's not criticize America. What would happen here if guns were easily available, like they are in parts of Haryana and let's say Jharkhand and places like that?
And parts of Haryana and Jharkhand, they've got these old bloody rifles.
Yes, they
if
do.
they have machine guns, which you can attach for $100, you attach a little gadget to it, and from a semi-automatic weapon, it becomes an automatic weapon, which means you got you're firing rounds at.
Can you make
the
that sound
only
effect
thing-
again?
Just put the sound effect in, no, Jara?
No, but even I know I was talking to someone who was telling me that even those you said those old like big guns that were they like cut them off to make the
Sort of shotguns.
Yeah,
You can get
sort of shotguns.
sprayed more. Oh God, it sounds so sexual. I'm sorry. Take that back. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but that guy, the guy that did the
Paddock, Stephen Paddock.
yes,
In that case, yeah.
he had like arms that you need for war. Like it's
30
not.
Look at that. How do you walk into a 5-star hotel with 20 guns? With 20 long-range guns? He didn't even have it like a Derringer or something. He had 20, huge octopus guns like that.
No, they're huge automatic
When
weapons.
I walk in to Taj Mansingh, Delhi, with just a paper clip from an event I've done stuck to my ear like a show of, stupidity, they thought, "Wo kya hai, mujhe dikhao," and they put that paper clip into the machine, and that 1-inch paper clip, and then it beeped and they put it in again. I mean, I'm just saying.
That is why this does not happen in India or
Yeah.
at the Mansingh.
Yeah.
It happens in Vegas.
So we should be proud of our security. And when the Labrador comes and sniffs your crotch, and which is a gun for some people, it's a good thing because at least we are doing something. And imagine America with all their problems didn't even have basic security at the Mandalay Bay.
But what do you think it would take to actually like ban
Repeal
guns
the
in
law.
America?
You got 59 killed, 400, 500 injured. What more do you want?
No, I'm saying that for us that's a great excuse, but for them, what can they like? I don't
for
understand
them.
what would it take for them.
Most
to
of America is
actually-
like us. It's not normal people. Come on.
So this is the statement that the ex-Prime Minister of Australia, Fisher, made. Okay?
Right.
He said,
Ex-Deputy Prime Minister.
Deputy Prime Minister, sorry.
Yeah, they speaking about the same, that massacre 21 years ago.
And he said that if America does not do anything now, after such a big incident,
No,
then
exactly.
people will start doubting, one, whether they are the greatest country in the world, and two, whether they are actually democratic or
May
not.
has just said what...
Because it is not the will of the
May
people
has,
that is actually happening.
May has just said, what will it take? I'm saying this is what it took. What more do you want? You can't ask for more.
Yeah.
This is the biggest massacre in history at a time when you've got all these other issues and pressures around them. I mean, what more do you want? You cannot have gun-toting people walking around. It's not 1861 in Silver City, man. It's not Dodge, man. When I say man, I'm from the hippie culture, and Dodge is 100 years before that. All right, I think we've run out of stuff. Are we good?
I think we have.
I think
We've
we're
pretty
good.
much run out of stuff.
Can we thank Kunal for being here and giving us...
Yeah, so nice. to see
Thank you, but
Kunal.
I'm touched. This is the 7th or 8th time you
Yeah,
have called me.
Kunal's show is
Yeah.
called Kunal's show is called what's it called? How I Met Your Father.
Yeah.
So please may come and see it. It's on October 15th
How
and
I
also
Met Your
November 3rd and
Father?
4th. Yeah.
Yeah,
I want to come.
Please come. Please
Yeah,
come,
yeah,
man.
Yay. Is it NCPA?
Yeah.
Oh, very far away for you.
I live in Lokanwala and Andheri.
We'll send you photographs.
Take the boat.
Let it be.
I'll take the boat, no?
Take the
I'll
boat,
just
take
roll
the
my
boat.
way over to NCPA.
We'll do a private show for May's birthday, which ironically is not in May. Thank you.
Hello, I'm Sanjeev,
And I'm Tushar.
and this is the Rotomout Podcast, a weekly show where we talk about motors and motoring in India. Cars, bikes, rickshaws, buses, friends, familiars, and time pass.
Find us every week on the IVM podcast app or any other app you might use. Stuck in traffic? Put on Rotomouth. Taking a while in the loo? Rotomouth is there for you.
Dude, that sounded particularly disgusting.
Thank you. But seriously, catch Rotomouth every week.
If you have any questions for Cyrus, write to us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Or you can send an email to whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
Okay, time for the AMAs with Kunal and May.
Hi.
Dun, dun, dun.
Hello.
I do the music for the show, by the way. Dun, 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 dun.
You should do the music for the show.
That sound effect came from somewhere else. There's also a Pepsi ad in between. Come on.
Okay, so this is from Harsh. He says, what just happened?
You screamed and Naveen's ear went.
Sorry.
Come on,
mate,
pay attention.
Okay, so Harsh has a question for you. He says, Cyrus, do you still sometimes roam around the city trying to make people a bakra, just for old times' sake?
No, see, that was a show we did on MTV, for which we were paid money and forced to do. It's not something I really want to do. Unfortunately, it doesn't leave me. But I do play pranks on people from time to time. I enjoy that a lot. And one of the biggest people to play pranks on is sitting in front of me, Kunal Vijaykar. The most gullible man I know.
Because I'm a nice guy.
I can call him on the phone.
He is a very nice guy.
I call him from somebody else's line and he puts the phone down and all. He'll go, hey, Kunal. Who's that? Kunal. He just puts the phone down. He's irritated already because he hates people. So I know all the things.
Well, I think he likes people more than
But
you do.
I'm the only person I know in my age group who actually calls people up and phone fools them still.
Seriously?
Yeah, I'm so proud. So proud to tell you.
I've done that a couple of times before.
I'm gay, black, Jewish and proud. Go on.
Okay,
You're definitely not black and Jewish.
That is true.
I'm gay, miserly and proud.
Hey, listen, I'm from Kerala. I'm more Jewish than you are.
Jewish.
Bolo. Prateek Gupta has a question for you. He says, Cyrus, you talked about casteism in India in your last episode. In your show, you stereotype Parsis, Gujaratis, and many more regions. At what point do you think it becomes more harmless banter to regionalism and casteism?
My belief is that the secularism has been thrown on its head by all the wrong factors because people start patronizing and doing all this rubbish. What we should do is enjoy our differences and enjoy our cultures, and you don't cross the line and just be abusive, but you have to enjoy people. Kunal loves Parsi culture, but it doesn't stop him making fun of Parsis.
And whether we accept it or not, we are a country with different cultures, with different accents, with different backgrounds, and we are all stereotypes.
Yeah.
The truth is that the imitation of a Keralite or imitation of Maharashtrian, if you actually listen to a Maharashtrian or a Parsi, they speak like that.
Well, some of them. There is stereotypes in each community. But my point is, we've grown up with, at least where I come from, we've grown up with Gujaratis, Sindhis, Maharashtrians, Punjabis, Muslims from all parts of India, South Indians from all parts of India, Bengalis. So once you get into that whole thing and, it's so much fun. Each culture has its own little eccentricities and craziness and fun.
Exactly.
And it's not just about accents.
If you don't have the ability to make fun of it, then you can't have everyone taking themselves that seriously.
And it starts going borderline dangerous when you start reacting like that.
Yeah.
Well, he's not really. He's just asking.
He's asking whether fine line,
because
which is
it's a good question because this political correctness that we've taken too far now. And don't do this, don't do that. I was sitting with this cricketer Sean Tate on another show we do, and we were just discussing racism on the cricket field. And I was saying, what's wrong with a little bit of leg pulling? What is wrong with a little racism also? As long as you have two friends, if I make black-white jokes and we get along, what's your problem? Who's it to you?
This is the thing. And it's not only India, it's all over the world. The iconic television series called Mind Your Language would never be able to run in today's scenario.
Absolutely incorrect.
Because everything is politically incorrect.
Each nationality has been completely mishmashed, wrongly produced, and made fun of. But on the other hand, it's the way to do it.
Great humor.
Yeah, it was really funny at that.
I think we take ourselves too seriously. But the only point I make is if his intent is malicious, if you want to hurt someone and insult them, then that's different. But if two guys, say on a cricket field, are sledging each other and get along well, who are you to say you cross the line with religion and race? Forget that. If Kunal and I abuse each other, we're not going to file a third complaint about what we said. Exactly. It's ridiculous. So it's all about, I don't know. Let's put a tax on people who don't have a sense of humor. Oh God. Let's start with us.
Actually, I had this debate recently with someone about this whole idea of that fine line between making fun of someone and then it just being like mean-spirited. And one of the things that he had pointed out to me was that I don't think that, for example, most of the people who are ridiculed are either like minorities or people who've been like...
I'll interrupt you for a second. Hindi films, I know you're not a big buff of Hindi films growing up somewhere else, but Hindi films have portrayed the Parsis as fools and silly people and speaking bad Hindi for years. All right? So why can't you make fun of the other communities? So why only Parsis?
Exactly.
So they've targeted South Indians as one type with one bad... I know South Indians speak better Hindi than any North Indians. This is... So we've got wrong prejudices and we take things too seriously.
But that's the thing. So he felt that, it was communities that were persecuted in some way. The Jews or the blacks or South Indians, whatever it is. And they're the ones that get made fun of because they are minorities or they're persecuted in some way.
Yeah,
so he's like the people who can... That if you have to make fun of people, you have to be from that community. Which I think is honestly ridiculous.
No, it's ridiculous.
You can't.
There are no laws. Who has eligibility to crack jokes? What kind of nonsense is this? No.
I think it's all about the intent. I don't care. I think if I'm not allowed to make fun of Kunal, what's the point of living?
I know.
No, and these people who make fun should also be able to make fun of themselves.
That's the point.
But can't be exclusive. That I'm a Sikh, so I will only make Sikh jokes. And I'm a Parsi, I will only make
But
Parsi
Naveen
jokes.
is like that. Naveen is very touchy, our producer. You can't make fun of him.
Can't?
No, he gets very touchy. He gets
Touchy in what kind of way?
pokes you in the nipple, that kind of typical bad stuff.
Sounds exactly like him.
Yeah. Evil stuff. Anyway, enough lectures. Yeah. Can we just thank Kunal, How I Met Your Father? Fantastic show. I'm dying to see it, even though I'm in it, so I can't see it. But you're really great stuff. Great stuff. Do you get paid the same as me or what?
Did you meet your father?
Have you
in the
been
end?
paid?
No, it's not about his father. It's about my.
That's about your
It's about how he met me.
It's about how I'm telling his daughter how I met her father.
I'm her father. It stands to reason if she's my daughter, then I'm her
father.
There you go.
Well done.
There you go.
I like logic. It's fun.
Yeah, eggs.
Eggs.
Can I have some eggs?
Your time.
Can you say eggs with a Malayali accent?
Eggs.
Eggs.
Stop it.
I want to have eggs with you.
Are we going to spend all
I want to have eggs with you. Let's have more eggs.
Yes, and please have hard as eggs.
I want hard. I want English eggs. Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you, we need you. If you have any questions, write to us online and you can mail us as well. We will answer. We have a doctor in the house called May.
And that's what Cyrus says.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Sorry to say, but there's been a slight delay due to the apocalypse having suddenly begun. As you can see, there's death, destruction, and chaos taking place all around us. But don't you worry, food and drinks will be served shortly, and I would recommend checking out
IVM Podcasts
to get some of your favorite Indian podcasts. We'll keep you going till this whole thing blows over. Thank you.